believed that it was the girl on the tape. They had problems with whether or not it was the girl on the tape. Now, remember, one of the elements that they had to prove was whether or not the person was under the age of 18 at the time the film was made. Because of the reasonable doubt that was placed on the female in the videotape, that was the issue that they focused on.
Do you think the crux of all this was that the alleged victim did not take the stand?
That is always a problem in sex cases. Sex cases are notoriously hard to prove when you do not have a cooperative victim. That was a factor that played into this jury's mind. One of the questions that they had was, why was she not there? Why did she not come forward? Why was she not part of this? And because she did not come forward, she wasn't the person who came forward to talk to the police. That really weighed heavily on the juror's mind as to whether or not there was reasonable doubt.
So now that these tapes are going to be presented, one of the problems in the earlier trial, at least for the prosecution, was that the witness in the tape did not want to cooperate. These witnesses and this witness in this tape that you presented, or maybe the two tapes you presented, will cooperate?
The prosecutors don't need the witness in this tape, in my opinion, to cooperate, because the tape is so clear and it's concise as to a number of things. Repeatedly on the tapes, R. Kelly and the victim refer to her as only being 14 years of age.
Now, remember, one of the elements that they had to prove was whether or not the person was under the age of 18 at the time the film was made.
The prosecutors don't need the witness in this tape, in my opinion, to cooperate, because the tape is so clear.
We have breaking news now, in the feds announcing new charges against Michael Avenatti. They're charging him with fraud and identity theft and identity theft and identity theft.
When somebody creates one of these things, it may make its way to its source, to the target audience, without it being obvious in every instance where it came from, who originally created it. Spread the word. Ring the alarm bell. Let people know that there is this emergent technology that's going to make the ability to doctor video and audio so much more credible than most people assume is possible. You can't just assume that your eyes and ears can be trusted when you're watching digital content.
This is Cara Delevingne. Her face morphed onto a porn actress. Take a look. Take a look at the face. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it.
Putting someone's face on someone else's body to create a video that looks shockingly realistic, and the technology is readily available online.
Called deep fakes, made with artificial intelligence tools that are easily found online and enable users who can find enough images of someone to take that person's face and put it on someone else's body.
Where in the heck have the tapes been for the past 20 years? You have a real situation. And in this day of technology, you're going to have to, the defense, I'm sure, is going to have analysis and probably expert witnesses that are going to say that those tapes have been tampered with.
The only person that testified that there was any kind of sexual relationship was Mrs. Van Allen. Mrs. Van Allen's credibility, I do believe, was cut by the effective cross-examination of the defense attorneys in this matter, because she had a financial gain. She had a boyfriend who had been arrested. She didn't come forward immediately. She had been, for years and years, she knew about this, yet decided to keep this to herself until her boyfriend was arrested on weapons and drug charges.
But it wasn't her in regards to the money, because she said he ain't gonna pay nothing because he ain't never paid her nothing.
she said, he ain't gonna pay nothing because he ain't never paid her nothing.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I did it, but when I saw the tape, he was gonna pay her something. He was gonna pay her something.
Brown says footage of Van Allen never went public.
You never saw that tape. I made sure that. You never saw that tape. I made sure that.
You never saw that tape. I made sure that.
Well, I'm gonna say I made sure of it, but you didn't see the tape that she was on, you know. He got that tape.
It ended up being, because it was several trips, I had to take 100,000.
Okay, so you got 100 and Keith got 150.
You know, he ended up with 100 as well.
Okay. So each of you got 100,000.
In the end, yeah.
Did Keith make copies of it before giving it back?
They did. That's why we ended up having to come back multiple times, because when we took the lie detector test the first time, he failed. The question was, were there more copies? And I guess he said no, and there were.
I mean, I represent 6-7 individuals now, not just victims, but whistleblowers, as well as some parents.
Wisdom, patience, passion, stamina, skills, offense and defense to beat my rivalry. Out of the belly of a mother, born into the belly of the beast. No college or street knowledge, a child often haunted by the thought of a ghost father. But yet, the man in me rises higher and higher, fueled by my relentless desires to climb the hill and see the mountains, and still continue to go even higher. Can't stop now, must endure into the finish. I'll fly until the sky becomes my ground, and the universe becomes my limit. The earth becomes my turf, and every man, woman, child becomes witness to my walk, my story, my journey, and my work. But one moment of victory is only temporary, which is why the consistency of my faith, hope, and struggles are necessary. Hated by my adversary, often finding myself in the midst of smiling demons. But thy way being straight before my face is why I live solitary. Friends and foes both kept beside my waist, the gift and the curse running through my DNA. Inspired by the woman, they are my strength, my joy, my mother, my sanctuary. The fight is real, but I'm prepared. Robert S. Kelly, 1967, the 8th of January.